Welcome to Crypto Flywheel, podcast where we spin up strategies to turn your digital efforts into unstoppable momentum. Now, let's get the flywheel turning. XMONEY yields 6%. Let me paint you a picture. You open up X, what used to be Twitter, to scroll through your feed. But now, sitting right there in the app, your cash balance is quietly earning 6% a year. While you scroll, while you sleep, while you do absolutely nothing, that's what XMONEY is testing right now in beta. 6% annual yield on cash held inside the app. To put that into perspective, your regular bank savings account probably paying you 1 or 2%. I doubt it. I think it's much less than that. Even the best high-yield savings account in America right now are offering 4.5 to 5%. XMONEY has already beaten them. And here's the scale of this. X has 600 million monthly active users. That's not registered accounts collecting dust. That's 600 million people actively using the app every single month, me included. Now imagine even 10% of those people park some cash inside XMONEY to earn that yield. That's 60 million people flowing money through one app, one system. But here's a question everybody in crypto is asking right now. What stablecoin powers this thing called X? Because behind every digital payment app, there's an asset doing the heavy lifting. And whoever gets chosen here wins big. There are 4 candidates on the table right now, in my opinion. First, USDC. That's Circle's stablecoin. Clean and it's trusted, used by big banks and companies everywhere. Yields sit right at about 4 to 6%. That's a safe choice. Second, RLUSD. That's Ripple stablecoin, built for fast, cheap international transfers. And this yields around 5 to 10%. And here's why this one gets people excited. If XMONEY wants to go global, RLUSD on the XRP ledger makes international payments almost instant and nearly free. For 600 million users across every country, that matters enormously, right?
Yeah,
Third,
I agree. So you're saying right now that X, as in Elon Musk's SX platform, is going to be a bank? Is that what I understood here?
Well, I don't know if it's going to be a bank. It's going to be an app that's going to offer yield. I mean, exchanges aren't banks, right? But they're offering yield. So yeah. I have no idea that. I don't know if they applied for a bank charter license or not, but we'll see, you know?
But, so if indeed the X platform does provide this service, you're saying that it's going to run through the XRP ledger, most likely?
I'm given the options. There's 4 options that it could be one of those. So let me finish up the options for you and we could discuss what we think may happen. So we got USDC as a first option. We have RLUSD as a second option. The third option is PYUSD. Why PYUSD? Remember, PayPal stablecoin. And here's the interesting angle with that. Elon Musk co-founded PayPal. So there's a natural connection there. They offer yields around 4 to 7% through treasury holdings. So the fourth option is, and this is the wild card, X builds their own and calls it XUSD, a completely custom stablecoin that lives entirely inside that X ecosystem. That's full control, tied to post, shopping, tipping, advertising, and everything stays inside the app. So the ultimate never leaves X strategy, right? So now nobody knows which one Elon will pick. But think about that. What happens if RLUSD gets chosen? Ripple stablecoin running on XRP ledger suddenly has 600 million potential users flowing money through it daily. That means the demand that creates for the XRP network is almost impossible to calculate. So this isn't crypto for crypto people anymore, right? So this is your everyday person who just wants to earn money on their money, right? So accidentally becoming part of the blockchain's ecosystem without even knowing it. So that's how mass adoption actually happens. Now not through white papers and tech conferences, through an app people already have on their phone, quite paying them more than their bank ever did, right? So let's watch the space and see what happens, right? So what do you think? What is your choice, or what is more realistic in your opinion out of the four options?
Well, you said the four options. You got USDC, you have Ripple USD or RLUSD, you have PYUSD, and then what's the final one? The fourth one
option was X creates their own, and let's just say they call it XUSD.
XUSD. Okay, so that's the outlier. That's probably not. But all of these are. So we already know that USD. I mean, my gosh, what's the first one?
USDC.
Yeah, USDC is already in partnership with the XRP ledger, correct?
Yeah. They have interoperability between the networks where they can transfer into another stablecoin.
Right. So USDC is already in some way, shape, or form affiliated with the XRP ledger, as is PYUSD. We did an episode on that, right? So we got that, and then if they're not going to go in XUSD, I don't think they're going to go in and build their own blockchain or distributed ledger to do this. They're going to have to leverage another distributed ledger technology project that's already in existence, especially if it's going to be providing yield. I would think that they integrate into an ISO 222 just for regulations and clarity, right? So what I think is that all of these, that instant 6% isn't the narrative, rather adoption into quick, like you said, 600 million people. Even if 10% of those people start utilizing this platform, you're talking about transaction that has a huge adoption right away, right? So it's not going to be done one by one. It's going to be like a flywheel effect, right?
Yeah. You know what I think may happen? I think the three options can definitely be integrated into the X platform and be utilized, because, hey, you want to use USDC? Hey, we'll give you USDC. You want to use RLUSD? We'll give you RLUSD. You want to use PYUSD? We'll give you PYUSD. The fourth option is actually something that, like you said, it takes a lot to build a stable coin. It's the others are already working and have liquidity in it. So the fourth option of XUSD has no liquidity in it, right? So where are they going to get the money to flow, right?
Yeah. So I think, in my opinion, and I'll keep it short here, I think that if XMONEY is building a financial gravity layer inside a social platform, the real question is really not the yield aspect. The real question is the interoperability, like you were just saying, right? About they're going to offer many, and it's just that transactions are going to be within that platform, ultimately feeding into the XRP ledger and all of the other 6 coins and 1 token. All of these assets are going to see a mass influx of volume, right? So it becomes now something that is where there's scale, because without scale, without interoperability creates just silos like the banking systems right now, and you can't have a global scale with these silos. So that's what I think, that it's just going to be a huge influx of volume, which directly translates into price action for all of the assets that we always talk about here at the Crypto Flywheel.
Here's why I think the yield plays a big part in this. In order for X to have liquidity in their network or into their platform, the X platform, you'd have to offer some sort of incentives in order for people to keep their money on the platform. So let's say if X didn't offer that, then people wouldn't really care about putting money into X, right? So
yeah, I agree.
So I really think that that yield plays a big part in bringing in the liquidity for the X platform.
Yeah, and I absolutely don't disagree with that at all. I'm just saying, we talked about Zaman yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So Zaman is just another one of these platforms that is offering, it's a wallet actually, right? Offering yield now for XRP through Flare, right? So similarly, X is going to offer these type of services. Not only is it going to have just X do it, now when X does it, many of the other social media platforms may integrate this kind of yield, that their users can also take advantage of. So this is like what we are saying. Our show's name is the Flywheel. There's going to be momentum, right? There's going to be momentum all across different platforms that is going to adopt and take advantage and evolve into yield-bearing sites or platforms where their users can take advantage and not only do what they normally do in terms of social media stuff, content creation and whatever else that we all do, but there's now going to be a feature where you're going to be able to get, invest and make money on the not only just now you don't just have to go to a bank. You can get these yields on these platforms as well. So it's an evolution, I think, Digital X, and I think that's a great point that we started talking about this so our listeners can understand this stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this, and I can't wait for this to happen because what is Elon trying to replicate? WeChat out of China, right? That's there.
Well,
everything
it's already there. Yeah,
exactly. It's already there. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Like WeChat is a great example. I mean, China is already ahead of us in this space.
Oh, they were ahead. They were ahead back in 2017. They already had
exactly. But the difference is that I have a little bit of reservations about that, but not from the yield aspect, but more so on the control grid that we keep talking about as well, right?
So we have no control over that now. What's going to happen is going to happen, right? We just have to play along with it.
Right. And that's what the narrative, our show is telling. We can only go with what's happening. What's beyond our control, we can't do anything. We just have to take advantage and position ourselves to what's happening in the world. However, my concern is that, I still would like to see that we have our freedoms, if you will. I don't want a social credit system either. However, I do want the decentralized finance aspect of it. So at the end of the day, we just got to be mindful. We position ourselves, but at the same time, I don't want to be in a social credit system where they can turn off my access to my money. So there's a fine line there, is all I'm saying.
They can turn your access off to money, like you said. If you're holding a stable coin, they could claw that back. But you know what? They can't claw back. If you hold XRP, they can't claw that back. So,
correct.
Just a thought.
So yeah, that's definitely something our listeners need to do their own due diligence on, because everything there's going to start building off of these assets, right? And that's what you're saying. Why you're seeing the delay in the Clarity Act, but they're already put into play the Genius Act. Now they're putting their control mechanisms in place before they pass the Clarity Act. That's what I'm saying. At the same, what Digital X said is, it doesn't matter. The Genius Act, the Clarity Act, all stablecoins, whatever it is, stablecoins are going to be its own little area or niche, but the assets that facilitate that is what we talk about all the time, is holding XRP, holding XLM, holding Quant, holding Algo, holding all these other assets within the ISO 20022 assets, instead of all the RWAs or the real world asset tokens that are going to be built on these platforms. That's great, but the liquidity is going to come in. But
you said it, they're all assets. So think of it as they're all homes or they're all properties that you have invested in. They only go up in value as time goes by. So
yeah,
that's how
that's what I got. Yeah. I don't have anything further to add, Digital X. So
all right, Professor X, go ahead and flywheel out of here.
Well, so continue, guys. More comments, more questions and we can address them in the subsequent episodes. And with that, today's episode of the Crypto Flywheel is signing off. Thank you.
Thank you.